real quick, I got a special announcement for you guys. Right now, we're running a special promotion over on poodlecfb.com. If you use code WINTER with a capital W, you will receive 40% off the annual deal, which basically locks you in from now and the majority of CFB 26. It's one of the fastest growing communities, so you definitely want to get in now so you'll be locked in for next year. And if you want to stick to the monthly plan, we're running 20% off on the monthly if you use code WINTER2025 with a capital W. So make sure to check it out. The codes and links will be down below in the description and in the comments. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 25 video, and today I'm going to go over everything you need to know about gems, breaking all the myths, getting through all the facts in Dynasty mode. Before we get to the video, guys, if you haven't already, check out poodlecfb.com. All of our gem data, our bust data, our archetype data, our statistics of ratings versus gems. We have a correlation actually on there on a spreadsheet that shows the odds of it being a gem versus stats if you don't want to waste all your scouting points, and as well for you to just kind of see where players do land out and will likely land out. If you use code WINTER with the capital W, the deal is still running. You get $40 off the annual plan. If you use code WINTER capital W 2025, you get 20% off the monthly plan. Make sure to lock yourself in now, because if you lock those discounts in now, they are recurring, which means you will lock yourself up for CFP 25 and the entirety of CFP 26. So you don't want to miss out. Lock yourself up now, so when CFP 26 comes out, you can absolutely dominate everyone in your hometown league, and they'll basically think you're cheating. Make sure to check it out. If you need any help, hit me up on Twitter, comment down below. Let's get into it. So I'm here to talk about gems today because I feel like a lot of people are still kind of confused about gems, and I want to break all the myths, all the facts out, everything for everyone so that you understand it all and kind of talk about it situationally. So stay tuned, because while I may not start talking about your situation, I'm going to try to get through a few here for a few people. So the first thing, just to break it down, if you're a green gem, you're going to be a player that likely has star or better dev. Minimum impact, but star or better, and that's basically the point of gems, right? Gems give you a better chance at a dev trait, which leads to so many things. A non-gem has a pretty variable chance from being normal to elite. They're still solid. A bust, right? Let's see if I can find it right there, where it's the gem with the X over it. A bust likely has normal or impact dev, and they're likely not going to be the greatest players. Doesn't mean there won't be, but the variance is just not in their favor. So, first rule of thumb is don't recruit any red bust players. Now, let me give you a situation where you would. You're a 1 to 3 star school, or even a 4-star school, and you're trying to unlock elite recruiter. And honestly, let's take it a step further. If you haven't unlocked elite recruiter, everything goes out the window. Those first 2-3 years when you're trying to unlock elite recruiter, or whenever, you may recruit red gems. Reason being, there's going to be a lot of 5-star and 4-star programs that are like, I'm not recruiting a red gem, which is true, but you can then sneak in 2 or 3 5-stars red gems, 5 to 7 4-star red gems that no one recruits, sneak them into your team. Now you end up with the top 5 class, you get elite recruiter. So let's get that out of the way. If you're going for elite recruiter, you can recruit them. Now let's start the video. Never recruit a red gem player. There we go, red gem. I know you guys hate that. A red bust player. Never recruit a red bust player. Primarily because red bust players come with stipulations that aren't conducive for building a team. And that's going to be basically red gem players. I'm never gonna get this. Red bust players will have bad stat caps. Now, if you guys know what a stat cap is, hopefully you do at this point if you're watching this channel. But let's go through a roster real quick. Players with bad stat caps are going to be very tough to build as a whole for many reasons. So this is going to be a general guy, impact dev. As an impact dev player, his caps aren't horrible. But let's see where that says the green, the gray checkbox. That's going to be capped. So when you go with a red bust player, most of the time their cap's going to be pretty bad as their impact normal, which means their ceiling's going to be about an 85 to 90 overall max, and even worse in a lot of cases, depending on what you do. We might be talking about an 82 overall max, a 79 overall max. Red bust players hurt the ceiling of your team, and that's just the nature of the beast with that one. Try to avoid red bust players unless you absolutely need them. Their depth, or it's a 5-star that's being unrecruited and you really just need them, or sometimes their stats are okay to start, but they have no ceiling. Basically, you're not recruiting for ceiling, you're recruiting for basically floor at that point, which can still be kind of low. These guys, with absolutely nothing on them, it just shows nothing. Those are fine. You can always go ahead and recruit those. The only thing you want to be doing when recruiting these is taking a good look at their stats. And what I mean by that is sometimes these guys with nothing, you may not get a good dev trait, and also their stats can be pretty bad. So there's a cornerback. Let's evaluate him. 72 man, 82 zone, 91 speed. He's solid because he has an 82 zone as a zone corner. He's okay. Let's look at this guy right here, cornerback, 92 speed. What does he have? 79 man. He's man to man with only 79 man. An 82 press. He's okay. Again, not the best. I would prefer 80s on the man coverage there, and so on and so forth. Just go through and you can kind of get a sense for guys that are like, okay, this guy's going to be a low overall just by going through right here. So like 80 man, 81 press, 96 speed. I prefer him. And a wide receiver, deep threat. 76 deep route running, 98 speed. He's okay, he has abilities, but he's a green gem, so I like him because he's going to have a high ceiling and likely a higher dev trait, and so on and so forth. So for me, the rule of thumb is recruit every green gem you can within reason, right? Don't recruit 1 through 3 star green gems unless you're a low program or you absolutely need them. 4 and 5 star green gems are an auto recruit for me within reason. If I don't need a 7th wide receiver this year, then maybe I just don't go for one. But in most cases, green gems are auto recruit. If you're going to be looking at a player without a gem on them, you want to do a deep dive into their stats, which I said the spreadsheet we have on our website does a great job of this and going through it. But you want to really go through the stats: 97 speed, 79 deep route running, 79 release, layout. Solid. But you're gonna see some guys. You'll see like a guard. Eventually, you'll find one, right? Like sometimes, let's see if we can find an example for you. You'll see a guard or like a center. Let's see if we have anyone. Really none. Who's just like normal. So right here, 83 pass block power, 85 pass block finesse, 83 pass block. All 80s across the board on pass blocking. He's a pass protector as a non-green or a bust. I like him because he has good stats for his position. What you want to avoid, and you'll see this sometimes with like guard, centers, or tackles, you'll see a tackle or center who's a 5-star or a 4-star who has no gem, and their stats across the board are high 70s, low 80s. Like for their main stats. Like their pass block finesse would be like a 79. Avoid those guys. Those guys are like the secret red bust for me. So you're going to see them, you're going to be like, oh, they're okay. Like they're not a bust, so they'll grow. No, a lot of times those guys actually will have really bad stat caps and be normal or impact dev. Try to avoid guys who look underwhelming stat-wise and don't have a green gem. If they're a green gem and they have good stats, go for them. If they're a green gem and they have bad stats, still go for them because it's likely that they could develop. If they have no gem, normal base player, and they have good stats, go for them. They have average stats, go for them. If they have below average stats, stay away. Red players, stay entirely away across the board unless you are a program, unless you're going for elite recruiter, you're a 3-star below program and you just need players in your team, or it's like a quarterback with 99 speed or a wide receiver with 99 speed and you just need speed and you're just going for it, a tight end. You just need a base physical stat. That's fine as well, but generally avoid them because when you're trying to go in pursuit of a 99 overall team or in pursuit of increasing your roster, it's going to hurt you across the board because they're going to hold your overall down. They're not going to grow, and they're likely going to be a cut candidate. And honestly, the worst thing you could do in this game is recruit cut candidates. The whole point is to cut players in your team that have been there and then bring in this new set of players and then try to stay around there. If you have to start cutting players, what was the point of wasting hours recruiting them? You could have recruited someone else. You could have scouted someone else. So try to avoid them as a whole. And again, there's situations, 5 stars and 4 stars. Mainly go for green gems, sprinkle in the normals or the regulars as needed with the right stats. Avoid red gems. With lower programs, it's a little bit more open, but generally, again, avoid red gems. It's just going to hurt your team in the long run. The only time I like it is if you're going for elite recruiter. So for me, as Syracuse in my main league right now, I did recruit a bunch of red 4 stars because I'm trying to get elite recruiter and I needed to get my blue chip ratio up. They're going to be cut candidates anyways. Those first 2 years for me are just a reset. You reset the foundation, you reset the roster. That's pretty standard in my opinion. But if you have any questions about gems, let me know down below. They're really, really important here is that gems are really, really tied to stat caps and dev traits. I don't really care about the overall so much. If they're 72 overall green gem 5-star, but they have elite dev and they have great caps, I don't really care. They're going to grow. Not a problem. What we don't want are players with bad stat caps. Of course, that's why our ideal coach build does give you the chance for architect. And this is why this is important when doing your coach. The reason we like it is because if you can tie this into the strategy of getting the right coach build, you're going to do wonders. If you get architect and you get to limitless, especially tier 3. Tier 1, you get in-game bonuses. Tier 2, you get unlock a random skill cap when leveling up. And tier 3, you get a bonus for 3-game win streaks. You get 2 bonuses, you level up your player, you unlock a skill cap eventually. Now, if you have a player that's a green gem who happens to have only a few stat caps, you'll start getting XP to go up, but then you'll start breaking those stat caps. If you have a normal player who is a star dev player, has a few more stat caps, but they're solid, you could break them and basically turn them into like a green gem player. If you have a red gem player or a red bust player, you could basically maybe bring them into normal territory, which is why this build is so important to me and having this, because you can give them a chance to grow beyond where they typically would and increase their floor a bit. So this is really just like the ceiling breaker for a lot of players, which also can bring their floor up as well because of the XP. And that's why it's so important, guys. But as a whole, green gems are always good unless they're 3-star or below for most parts. Red gems are always bad. Normals, you need to do your data. You need to look at them. Look at them carefully. I brought in a normal 5-star before who I was like, oh, he's a 5-star. He's not a red or green gem, whatever. And I brought them in and they were like a 65 overall and they were completely capped to hell. Route runner, horrible. Do your research. And that's a good way to tell if they're going to have good dev or at least be good is basically if they have those below average stats. A 5-star player typically should have above 80 stats at their key things, even if they don't have a gem. If they don't, they're likely going to be like a bust without being a direct bust. Those are kind of like the phantom bust in my mind. Hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions about gems, hit me up on Twitter. Comment down below. If you need direct help or you want to have all the in-depth analysis and spreadsheets, head over to poodlecfb.com. Code winter, capital W, 40% off the annual. Code winter, capital W, 2025, 20% off the monthly. Make sure to check it out. You guys won't want to miss it. Don't miss out on the deal. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.